West Nile TV. Miyuder Ingamwa. West Nile TV. Miyuder Ingamwa.
It is Kokoliriko live on West Nile TV. My name is Opingo Yusuf Andabati, and we are lighting the region. Just so you know, a lot of activities are happening in West Nile region, from Zombo to Jumani, and from Koboko to Pakwach. A lot is taking shape as far as West Nile is concerned. And to the rest of the world, in Lira, Gulu, Moroto, and the rest of Uganda, you get to realize that there are a number of issues taking shape as far as this week is concerned. But this day specifically, I want to bring up to speed a number of issues that are transpiring here in this region, and specifically we'll be looking at the 11th coronation of the King of Alur, which will take place on the 30th of October 2021 in Zombo district. We want to look at this and a number of other issues here right now. My colleague Oringi Dennis, he is a senior reporter. He is also a news editor. He is with me to dissect a number of issues this very day today. Good morning. You're most welcome, brother.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Andy. It has been a while.
It's been a while.
Without sitting together to discuss some of the issues that we have in this region called West Nile, and it is upon me and you and the rest to ensure that West Nile is known within, without also as well. So
okay.
We shall be doing a lot.
How has it been for you? I mean, there were a lot of issues that transpired before we go to the to the coronation of the Ker Alur, the king. You'll bring that up to speed. There were a number of pockets of issues happening within Arua city.
You have to know that we in the year 2021, and there has been a number of issues that has been taking place in West Nile sub-region, in particular looking at Arua city. You need to know that the issue to do with the reshufflement over the RCC, Arua city, and also the RDCs of the districts that we have in West Nile as we talk right now. We used to know of Orochi Martin being the resident city commissioner for Arua city. He has been taken to Madiokolo. I think he's not something to do with the 2 months old in Madiokolo district. And talking about Alice Akello, who was moved away from Arua as the deputy resident district commissioner, and then before Arua city becoming a city. She's now the current resident city commissioner, being deputized by Adomati Dixon, who was a former councillor of Arua Hill from Varawa.
Yes,
right now he's now the deputy RCC. And you need to know that in Pakwach we have Peter Debele. He's now the RDC Pakwach. He has replaced Swipe Toko, who has been moved to Amolata. And also you need to know that Marasha district has a new RDC, and he was the RDC of Arua district, and that is none other than Aikobua Festus. And on Yana Hori Aua, who was in Marasha from Arua district, he is now the new RDC Arua district. He just came back to sit where he was sitting before he was taken to Maracha district. So that is about the reshufflement of the
and also not forgetting the reshufflement that took place for the RDC of Yumbe. Now Yumbe also has a new RDC, Buga Matata, a former contestant in Arua municipality back then, Arua Central Division, and also a former contestant in Koboko North. And now he's the RDC for Yumbe district. And the RDC, the former RDC, Yumbe district, was also shifted back to Kole, where he came from. Very interesting shift.
When we talk about the reshufflement of the RDCs and the RCCs, you need to know that there are a lot of issues that took place before the reshufflement of these RDCs and RCCs. Without fear of compromise, I would really say there were issues to do with the Myoga money. In Kole, the members of parliament from Kole, they were able to write a very comprehensive report and that they submitted to Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, how the Myoga money was being used in the district. It's not also different from other districts that we have in West Nile as well. And to me, as Dennis Oringi, I would really say that Myoga cost some of
these reshufflements and shiftings from here.
Away from that, you need to know that we have been having the issues to do with the urban cash, in the city, the money meant for those who are in the city, and some 2 weeks ago they launched the program of making the beneficiaries benefit from this particular money. And from the other side of Nebi, you need to know that the Nebi Goli Paida Road has become a public nuisance to those who are getting services from Nebi General Hospital. I happened to do that story, to bring out to speed what need to be done before 2026. As soon as I got done with the story, they published on the national paper, one of the national dailies that we have in Uganda, that is New Vision, that Nebi Goli Paida is not among the roads that the Uganda National Road Authority is supposed to work on in the term that is running under the NRM government.
Between 2021 and 2026.
Yes, and it has brought a lot of uproars within the
Alur Belt.
The people living in the Alur Belt. So what should be done at this particular time is engaging the leadership of Nebi,
Pakwash,
and also Pakwash. And you need to know that the road is not only benefiting the people who are in Alur sub-region, the road is benefiting all the Ugandans.
And especially business-loving Ugandans who operate from Kampala and the DRC Congo.
Yes. I was able to sit by the town council counting the number of vehicles leaving Uganda going into Democratic Republic of Congo through Padea border point. You will not believe yourself. And if you are to move to Paida to go and see what happens in Paida, you will really move to go and meet President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni over that road. Okay,
now there was this saga of Barifa. There was a protest in Barifa over the plan by, Honorable Guzuli Dennis to, a kind of create an ecotourism in Barifa Central Forest Reserve. And so locals came up in arms protesting this activity, this legal activity, if I may say, that NFA is undertaking through Oguzu Lee Dennis, the member of parliament for Maracha County. And a number of issues came up during this demonstration. Even a radio party's journalist was beaten. His gadgets were, damaged. And this happened during this protest.
Now, when we talk about the issue to do with the National Forestry Authority, and we are talking about the central forest reserves that we have in this country, when you look at West Nile has got a number of central forest reserves that we should be able to know. Barifa is one of them because it is being managed by National Forestry Authority. And we also have another one called Kafu, that is in Logiri Sub-County, Arua District. It is also being managed by, that is a National Forestry Authority. You need to know that last year, National Forestry Authority was able to advertise on the national papers for those who are interested in developing some of the Central Forest Reserves. You apply. After applying, you have to be vetted. After vetting, and they have seen that your plan suits what they want, you are given the acres that you have really requested for
develop.
Develop. Now, for Barifa, for the starter, you need to know that Barifa is at the heart of Arua City as we talk right now. And because of the criminal activities that used to take place and is still taking place in the forest reserve, you need to know that the councillors of Arua City in 2018 moved the motion of the gazettement of these forests. Why? They say the forest
poses a security threat.
Yes, poses a security threat to the dwellers of the city. Secondly, the then municipality wanted to develop the land where the forest sits into an ecotourism city. And the plan is just there also at the office of the city mayor. And the design was taken up by Joel Aita, the engineer working with the Joada Consult. And what happened was the move to the Gazette Barifa was taken to Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. Unfortunately, Parliament of the Republic of Uganda has never had a say over this Barifa. So currently the management of Barifa is not in the hands of Arua City local government authority. The management of Barifa is under National Forestry Authority.
Where do the demonstrators get the authority to protest against the legal handover of the stretch for ecotourism? The stretch that was handed over to, not the entire forest.
10 acres.
Yeah, around 10 acres that was handed over to Honorable Guzuli Dennis for redevelopment.
Yes.
Where did the local communities get the authority, the audacity to protest, to demand for Oguzu to vacate this piece of land?
I interviewed Oguzu, and Oguzu has the papers given to him by National Forestry Authority. Now, when Oguzu took his plan to develop this stretch of land to, that is the city planning committee, it was rejected by these people because of some local politics that is going on. And what happened was, Oguzu says, what the committee of physical planning is doing is not right. Because by law, the city planning authority should be able to approve any developmental projects that are going to be undertaken in the city, regardless of where the project is. Now, NFA wants Oguzu's plan to be approved, and he presents approval of the council
to NFA.
To NFA. But the council has no right and has no audacity to stop Oguzuli from developing the NFA land.
Now, from as we conclude, from all the discussion from all the angles are pointing in different directions. Now, the number of people that have been mentioned, and I was going through social media, there were people who have been labeled to be, peddling, sectarian tendencies, tribal tendencies that is actually, causing all this friction. And the team, from Oguzuli is labeling a number of people that, are on the other side to be sectarian, causing this friction that is happening now.
Let me tell you, for the starter, this is on point. You can take your time and go and find out whether I am wrong or right. But I believe I am right, because what I'm going to say is what I know. And I will continue to know without somebody putting me down that I have to withdraw my statement. I will not withdraw my statement, but I have to make it point clear. But the fact that we see here is demarcated and the owners of this barifa we are talking about here. It is only from the roadside that we see that we have the trees. But go inside deep, you are going to find out that the eucalyptus trees that we have in Barifa have gone.
Okay.
And there are some people who are managing now, they are on, piece of land inside Barifa. You understand? So, one, the people who are fighting Oguzuli, who wants to develop Barifa, not by cutting down the trees, but by maintaining the already existing trees. And in his plan that I saw, he plans to plant more trees.
In Barifa?
In Barifa. But he's going to maintain the green belt so that Andy and your wife, if you have a child, there's no problem. You can go together every evening after work. You can go and sit there and then you sip bottles of soda.
In the green belt that he's intending to develop.
And for those who are still looking for those that they can date, they can really pick and go and date there. But you should not do the other thing. Just go and date only. So that is his plan. His plan is to have a public place where people can go and chill. Currently, as we talk, Arua City is not having a public place.
True.
Arua Hill Stadium has gone.
True.
They are developing it. I don't want to disorganize the plan. It is a good one. We have police ground that is
now a parking
being
lot.
used as a parking lot for police.
And
where can I go with my girlfriend to go and chill in Arua here? We don't have the place. So the people who are against Oguzuli's plan, these are enemies of development. And I wanted to ask them, where do they want Oguzuli to go and put such beautiful, mind that he has about having a public place where people can go and chill? We do not have. At least if that one is created, let me tell you, I will not be stressed. I'll just go and relax there, and you'll see me doing things well.
All right, now let's shift gears and talk about the 11th coronation of the King of Alur. It's this weekend. It's on Saturday. All roads lead to Zombo district. A lot of people have been invited. I hear dignitaries from the Acholi kingdom, from the Bunyoro kingdom, even from the Lubarakari, they're supposed to go. And then even from Madi, a lot of people are going to, it's going to be a tour destination for most people, Zombo district. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, thank you very much. If it was not because of COVID-19, I would be there by this time.
Okay.
It is something that comes once in a year. The current king that we have, His Royal Majesty, Obemo Olarker Philip Rahuni III, was coronated in 2010.
Yeah.
So he's going to celebrate his 11th anniversary.
Which means the 11th year being a king.
Yes.
Okay.
I have to tell you that if there's something that one should love, is the culture, sense of belonging. Where do you belong? Where do you come from? As Dennis Oringi, my name is Oringi because I am an Alur. If I was not an Alur, my name would be different.
Maybe Andawati,
yes.
Maybe Sebumale, maybe something else.
But since my name is Oringi, I am proud to be an Alur, and I feel like being there even a week before.
Okay.
And you need to know that the coronation anniversary is meant to bring all the Alur speaking people together. I don't know how it will be this year. Last year it wasn't vivid as it was before because of COVID-19.
Yeah, yeah.
Because now, since the government has said 200 people can attend functions, we believe the 200 people will be there. But people would wish to go in big numbers. The beauty about Alur Kingdom is that we have a king and we have the subjects. And the king does not work alone. The king works together with his ministers. And you need to know that Alur, we are divided into 3 different, groups. The Jonam, the Padire, and the Okoro.
Now, which one is which? Which one is Okoro?
The Okoro is Zombo district.
Okay.
The Padiere is Nebi district,
Nebi district.
and Nebi municipality.
Yes.
The Jonam, the people in
Pakwash.
Pakwash district. The beauty about this is that the people in Pakwash, if you are to listen to their Alu language, it's a little bit
Different.
but we all understand. Just different in pronunciation and some words.
Just some
The
dialects.
Jonam of Pakwash, they speak their Alu that is a little bit related to the Asholis.
Could it be because of the nearness
Yes,
to,
because of the nearness to
Acholi?
Acholi.
Yeah.
Then the one of Badire, we tend to speak that Alu of Mokamo in Congo in the RSA.
Okay.
Then the one of Zombo, their Alu is a little bit, influenced by the Lendu and the Okebo speaking people. The names of places in Zombo that are not
In Alu.
in Alu, they are in Lendus and Okebo.
I was told that the name Zombo is actually not in Alu.
Yes.
So what is that?
That is it. Because personally, I tried my best to translate it locally with the few Alu words that I know. I failed to get
What about Zeu?
Zeu. That one also, I cannot locally translate because I don't understand it. So Saturday 30th is going to be a very big day. To some people, they will call it Christmas in Zombo, in Alu land, because some people are going to celebrate at the level of celebrating Christmas. And other big days that we have in this country, Uganda. So what people should expect from the coronation will be displaying the different cultural performances from the Alur, the cooking culture, you understand. That is the day that you go and see how some traditional food, is cooked. We talk about angira, you talk about, a number of dishes that are prepared in a traditional way, and you're able to see. I've never seen this in Lugbar culture. There's this way of mingling food using, we call it pano, very big one. And if I go to my village, my mother would prefer going for that than this small saucepan that my wife uses here in town, because she believes that I need to hit big, because Alu is enriched with a lot of food and we have to eat. So that is a unique culture in Alu, eating together, where they place the bowl of sauce on
top of the
enyasa.
So what should people expect? What should people expect? So, especially for us as West Nile TV, we're going to be covering these events live on the TV.
So what people should expect is that they have to be glued to their television. For those who have Star Times, you can just get to channel 477, and those who are on free-to-air decoders, we are happy to inform our viewer that West Nile TV has brought also free-to-air decoder right here in West Nile. It is the first of its kind. It is something that people don't know, and people need to know that you can use your free-to-air decoder, the one even you have been using in Kampala. If you have it here, you can just connect and you'll be able to watch West Nile Television live. So everything that will be happening at Winam Atiak, that is in War, Zombo district, will be live on West Nile Television. Different dignitaries have been invited, those from Democratic Republic of Congo, those are from the Ashole side, and those are from Bunyoro, and those are from Buganda, and let me say across the country. They will be welcomed, because last year I did see the chief of Ashole, that is Ruoth Onen Ashana. The second was able to attend the coronation anniversary, and I happened to be one of the MCs in 2017. May his soul rest in eternal peace. The chief guest by then was the second deputy prime minister, that was Chiveji. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And I am happy that I was able to touch his hand, and I used the same microphone he used. So I am also blessed there. So there will be a lot of things that will be taking place there.
All right.
And we expect people who will not make it to Atiak, they have to stay to their television. without blinking their eyes.
All right, we'll take a break and we shall be coming right back to have more discussion on the issues that we are talking about this very day today. It is Saturday, the whole day. We shall be here as West Nile TV lighting up the region. We'll be bringing it up to speed and informing you on what will be transpiring in Zombo district. And for your information, in the previous years, we used to have actually a similar celebration here in Arua, 1 week to the event. But because of COVID, I think this time around it may not take place. But all the same, Saturday is the day, 30th October 2021. Let's take a break. We shall be coming right back. Welcome back from that break, and before we went for a break, we were talking about the 11th coronation of the Luru King that will take place this weekend, this Saturday, the 30th of October 2021. And with that, we also want to look at the current affairs that are happening in the country. There's the bomb scare in Kampala. 2 bombs were thrown in Kampala. According to the police, those were locally made bombs. One in an eating joint and another in a bus. So what lessons should the security take out of this? Because there is an event taking place on Saturday. This is a national event, if I may say, because dignitaries of all kinds are coming from across the country, even from outside the country, Democratic Republic of Congo. And according to the security authorities, the terrorists are linked to the ADF in Congo. And for us here, we're just a stone's throw away from the Democratic Republic of Congo. What does this mean for us? Doesn't this pose a lot of security threat for us as a region and that are geared towards this celebration?
All right, thank you very much, Andy. Whether it is locally made bombs or they are internationally made, the fact is, it is a bomb.
And it takes life.
And they take life. So what is so serious at this particular time is the coordination between the security forces and the local population like me. From this perspective, I will be speaking like a local person, mixing it up with the journalistic ideas to help the police work well and other sister security agencies. Andy, you need to know that whatever happens in this country, it is serious. But it's quite unfortunate that sometimes our government tends to take certain things lightly.
Okay.
From the experience of the Komaboga, the pork joint, I was not expecting another bomb blast to take place in this country called Uganda, in a bus. And this brings me to the question of how qualified are our intelligence officers that we have, both in the police and in the UPDF.
Okay.
The problem I have seen in Uganda is we tend to give more attention to few individuals and we leave the greater population of this country to the hands of the dogs and the cats and the lions that we have. And at the end of the day, we see innocent people dying.
Okay.
And those that are supposed to feel they are well protected. I can remember in 2016, I challenged the DPC of Gulu by then. We were talking about security matter. By that time, the security of Gulu was taken up by the young boys who could just, put you down using Matalimba. And I told the DPC that if we are done with this meeting, you are going to be escorted by 2 police officers with the guns, including your pistol, 3 guns, escorting 1 person. But for me, I would go even without a vehicle.
Not even a panga.
To escort me. So the problem we have in this country is that the officers tend to give much of their time to few individuals. This is the time that I expect the officers in the police force in the UPDF to remove their uniforms and get to work like me.
To become a civilian, investigate matters
properly. And that can happen when we leave the issue of corruption in the police force aside.
Okay.
Let me tell you, in 2010, when the twin bombing happened,
the Kabalagala rugby ground,
the Chandondo rugby ground, where over 70 people perished. What happened immediately? We saw how our security officers swung into action, and that's how they behave. That is how they behave. You understand? So I listened to the spokesperson of police, Afande Fredenanga, saying that this is just domestic, terrorism. There's nothing domestic here. And the more they joke, the more havoc these people are going to cause. So we should stop bringing things home that are domestic. It is not domestic. There's nothing to do with domestic here. It is now them to up their games. This laxity of moving in Arapapa should stop. You can't be using Arapapa moving here and there, yet somebody is moving with a jacket full with detonators. So they have now to move away from the political ways of doing things into security ways of doing things.
Okay.
Because our police have been doing things in a political way, looking for where is Oringi having a camp.
Okay.
That's what should now stop.
Now, Oringi, if you may allow me, if you can remember previously before this bombing took place, American Embassy, European Union, even issued, the Embassy of UK issued a what?
A travel warning.
A travel warning. Issued an alert, security alert, to their citizens living in Uganda that there is a looming security threat in the country. What did the police spokesperson say after that? We are safe. There's no cause for alarm. And just a few days later, there was a bombing.
And I have to tell them, there's cause for alarm because we are not safe. How am I safe? If we don't have intelligence officer at bus park here in Arua, is Arua even having a bus park, if I'm to ask? People are parking their bus
by the roadside.
Their buses by the roadside. What will happen? So the problem we have in this country is big, and we need to sit down and analyze these problems one by one. We look at the region, like West Nile. When we come to Arua, people are just there yapping, moving up and down without knowing what is taking place.
Okay.
And this is the time that the community policy has to play a very big role in sensitizing the people, not only using radio and television,
but moving
to the community. We have good system of governance in this country. We have the LC system, we have the LC2 system, we have the LC3 system. We should not be thinking about money at this particular time, but we should be thinking about saving lives. And the police community liaison officer should be able to sit down and draw a work plan on how he's going to work with the community as far as sensitization is concerned. Because at this particular time, it is about sensitization. We don't want to lose the fight like we seem to have not performed well in the fight against COVID-19. So don't forget that this thing to do with the terrorism will overshadow COVID-19 fight in our country, Uganda. And it has even overshadowed. Right now, the security officers
on their toes.
On their toes about terrorism.
They've forgotten about the crowd.
They have forgotten about the crowd, and people are there busy dancing. More especially for those who are rich and they have the money. And the poor people like me, I'm not dancing because where I dance, we only see police officers around there.
A rich man dances. There is a police officer protecting them.
There is a police officer protecting them. So we should stop such kind of game in our country, Uganda. Everybody is one, is the same.
All right, let's move on. On that note, there was some silent disco over the weekend in a very big hotel in Arua City, and this hotel belongs to one of the shakers and movers of the town.
What do you make of that?
And on the other side, there was another silent disco happening in another place. And police went to disorganize and say there is no silent disco supposed to take place here. But the other one took place. Everyone shifted to the other one.
That is
and they were
Uganda for you.
protected.
That is Uganda for you.
Let's go on. And there is this aspect of the industrial park. Previously, the Uganda Investment Authority, together with the Ministry of, Privatization, Honorable Anita's ministry, if I may say, took tour of West Nile region. And in this tour, they were moving to identify places that are above 500 acres that are good enough for establishment of industrial parks in West Nile region. They became handy. They provided land close to 500 acres. Mariokolo came handy, around 520 acres of land. The same applied to, Arua district previously. And Yube district provided 1,200 acres of land for industrial park development, the biggest of such land in the country, to be given by the communities to the government for industrial park. But now, what happened? Arua district and Ajumani district are the only places now considered for establishment of industrial park. Of the 25 industrial parks in the country, 2 that are supposed to be established in West Nile are supposed to be in Arua, that is yet looking for land for the establishment of the industrial park, and Ajumani, that was never in the picture of the places for establishment of industrial park. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andy. I was able to be part of the media team that moved together with this land bank team led by Evelyn Anite. They started from, that is Nepi, they came to Mariokolo, they had to move to Yumbe, and the person who led them was the Member of Parliament for Aringa South, Honorable Odria York Alioni. Well, let me say this, I think to some extent, I need to be very happy. And I have to say, the lands of those who donated, the land is safe now.
Okay. You think they were not safe?
Yes.
The ones in Nebi, the one in Mariokolo.
These are individuals.
Yes,
these are individuals who donated their land.
Listen, the one in Mariokolo was an individual who handed over this land to the district so as to establish industrial park in the district, which was a very generous.
What did the district give?
They were yet to plan to give.
We don't have people with generous hearts in Uganda, my dear. In Uganda, give me, I give you. The owner of the land was expecting something from the district. Only that he was waiting for that land to be approved. If the land was approved by the Ministry of Investment, I have to tell you that the man will open war on the district that I have given. Can you also give me? I have grandchildren who need this land. I have families who need this land. And I gave you the land so that you can give me something so that I can go and do something somewhere. The same applied to Nebi. An individual gave the land.
Okay.
In Yumbe.
You remember what happened?
Even right from there, when the minister, Evelyn Anita, was there, some members were already complaining. And I am happy to say we have controlled what we call conflict. Let me tell you, don't joke with the land in Uganda. An individual can give the land, but it should not be free. And I've never seen somebody giving free land to somebody in this country, Uganda.
They gave for churches, they gave for schools, they gave for, a number of government activities.
I like the English that you have used. They gave. That was then. We're in a different Uganda now. The Uganda we are in is a different Uganda. Have you ever had people trying to take back
the land they gave?
The land they gave. The best example is Arua diocese.
Yes, the Arua diocese, the land.
Where a priest made the pronouncement that any member from that family they will not bury.
And it has
So that was then. Right now it is a little bit very hard. So let me tell you something. The team that moved, all of them are investors.
Okay.
And I should say that the people who donated their land, they have not lost. Because there are some private investors who are going to come. And some of them, unfortunately, they will come in the name of the government, yet it will not be government. Those guys are investors.
So now, this brings us to the aspect of Arua.
The reason why, let me tell you, the reason why Arua and Ajumani were selected to be part of the 25 approved industrial parks in Uganda by the Cabinet of the Republic of Uganda is because of their strategic locations. Let's talk about Arua. Arua is already a city. You cannot go and set up industrial park in Madiokoro where there is no proper road. We suffered together when we went to Madiokoro, where there is no electricity. You use the boat to go to the other side of the river.
Of the road.
Of the road, not even a river, because that one is just part of the flooded river. Of the road. Who is that investor who will invest in such area where there's no light, there's no power? Let's talk about Nebi. Bigger markets in this country, in this country. But it's in Democratic Republic of Congo.
Listen.
Especially from this side.
If from your expression you're telling me Arua has been selected because of nearness to the city,
that's
probably
one.
because it's here. What about Nebi? Nebi is nearer to even Kampala than Arua. It is the land that was given for industrial park was just by the roadside.
Remember what is
explanation would you give to people
remember what is
for that being dropped and not Arua? and Arua being adopted. And what about Ajumani? Looking at the location of Ajumani from here, looking at the location of Ajumani from Kampala.
Now remember, whatever is going to come out from the industrial parks that are going to be set up in West Nile will not be going down. Remember, we'll just be going
to the neighboring countries.
To the neighboring countries.
So I have told you to South Sudan.
I have told you
yes to Congo.
Okay. I have told you the people who are in this land bank, these are investors. You understand? These are people who are looking at places that they can easily do business. And let me tell you, most of these land, these industrial parks that have been approved, they are towards the borders. You understand? Yeah? Go to Rukunjiri, that one is towards the border. Huh? So these people are looking at how can they put up places that they can use for setting up industries, and what will be produced from the industry are taken out of the country to Democratic Republic of Congo, to South Sudan. Adjuman is just close to South Sudan. It's very easy. You just jump on Nimule. Here, you come to the city, you connect to Lear, you connect to Oraba, very close. Then secondly, other factors that we need to put into place is the population as well. Where are you going to get the laborers from? Arua has got laborers for
unused labor force.
Unused labor force. Remember, as West Nile, we are the one behind the production of the sugar that we do consume in our country, Uganda, because the labor force being used in the sugarcane plantations come from West Nile.
Kasambus.
Let me tell you, out of the issues that came out from one of the budget conferences that we have currently was the issue to do with the labor force leaving Arua district, going to work elsewhere. And Arua district in a year contributed or gave 1,000 young able men to go and work in somebody's plantation of sugarcane.
In Lugazi, in Kakira, and the rest.
So those are the things. So those guys are very bright. These are bright people. These are economists. These are, when you talk about Morrison Rakakamba, this is an economist. He's good in analyzing, places to do business. And don't be surprised that some of them will be setting up, business entities
in some of these places.
The other time when Anita was explaining to them the money she's making out of the laundry, products that she is producing from her small factory in Kokoliriko, those guys were so impressed and they said there's a lot of money here. And remember, Anita even told them that the raw material we're using is coming from Democratic Republic of Congo.
And the soap also goes back
to Democratic Republic of Congo. So Arua and Adjumani, these places were chosen because of their locations, talking about the issue to do with the labor force that can work at the industrial park, and also looking at the nearness to the power source. Remember, Arua will be connected to the national grid, and one of the power substations is going to be at Muni, and it's not going to be far away from Muni to Ajia, where the district is proposing to have the industrial park.
Okay.
So the people are looking at that. Jumani already they have their power connected to the national grid, and it's very simple for them. One cannot take industry to Yumbe, because Yumbe, the power being used there is just only for lighting and also for somebody watching television. Industrial park needs power.
A number of issues.
And need to be strategically located.
Let's take a break, and we shall be coming right back to discuss more issues. And we'll be talking about the budget conference that is taking shape in a number of districts. Arua district budget conference took place, and the one for the city is on Thursday. Yes, it's taking place today. And talk about Mariokolo, the same, and also the one for Maracha, which was supposed to take place yesterday, has been postponed, but we'll be bringing it up to speed. A number of issues as far as the budget conference is concerned. Let's take a break. We shall be coming right back to dive deep into that. Good morning. Welcome back from that break. It is Kokoliriko live on West Nile TV. My name is Opingopi Yusuf Fandabati. I'm your host as always, and we bring up to speed a number of issues happening in our communities and from all the four corners of West Nile to the rest of the world as we light up the region. And for information, we are designed by Booth Collection. You can find them at Concord Building, Arua City, room C311. They're right there, and get dressed straight away. Now, Mr. Ringi, there was the budget conference that took place for Arua district. Specifically, the budget conference took place, and a number of other districts are yet to have their budget conferences. With also, Arua City scheduled for today. With this in mind, what were some of the issues that transpired in the budget conference for Arua district? You were in attendance, and juxtaposing this to the rest that are yet to occur. What are the main issues for West Nile that should be discussed in the budget conference?
Yes, a quick one from that. You need to know that according to Section 9, subsection 3 of Public Finance Management Act, it empowers the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to come out with a budget framework. And where does the Minister of Finance and Economic Development gets the budget framework from? The Ministry of Finance gets the budget framework from the local governments that we have in our country, Uganda. And in that, according to Section 91 of the Public Finance Management Act, it empowers also the accounting officer, who is the chief administrative officer, to prepare the budget framework and also the budget paper to present to, that is the Ministry of Finance. And then from the Ministry of Finance, they sit down and they see how they can now put the allocation. And it's from that that we always get to hear about the national budget reading. So currently what is happening is that it is a budget conference where different stakeholders are engaged in the formulation of the budget framework paper to be presented to the Ministry of Finance. So if the budget framework paper is prepared and presented to the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Finance works on the budget for another financial year. Remember, we are in a year where we are implementing the budget for the financial year 2021-2022 already. And the budget processes start right from the village level. You understand? At the village, we have what we call the village planning committee. The same apply to the parish planning committee. So the issues that are in the village are generated by the village members. They have a meeting, they raise the issues that these are the issues that we need as this particular village. Then the issues are taken to the parish. At the parish, so the parish planning committee. Yeah. They sit, they look into the priorities of the villages that fall within that particular parish. From there, then the priorities are taken. What are the serious issues that need to be addressed in this financial year? So these issues are selected from the parish, taken to the sub-county. At the sub-county, they are going to vet which one should we take and which one should we drop. So at the sub-county also, we have the sub-county planning committee. So these people also plan. And in their planning, they look into the issues that were raised from the different parishes that are in the sub-county. So the issues are taken to the district. So currently, what is taking place in the districts that we have in West Nile is what we call budget conference. The budget conference where different heads of department, different secretaries, they present. They present what they need for their department. And in the budget conference, what happens is that they look into the performance of the budget of the previous financial year, and then they look into what they are implementing currently,
and what they intend to have.
What they intend to have, and how much they intend to cost in the implementation of the priorities that are going to have. Unfortunately, or fortunate enough, that the ways of doing this budget thing has changed. Remember, we are for the National Development Plan 3 now. And the National Development Plan, we're going to have it after 5. Well, we finished the National Development Plan 1, that was 2. That was 5. National Development Plan is in the whole circle of 5 years. You understand? Of a term, of a political term. So NRM government came out with the National Development Plan 1. We finished National Development Plan 2. We finished also. We are now into the National Development Plan 3 for this term of office of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and NRM government as well. So everything that the districts are going to plan should be within the National Development Plan 3 of the NRM. You understand? Yes. So it means now the budgeting processes should be in line with what the NRM government
intends to implement in their manifesto.
So for the National Development Plan 3, for the financial year 2022-2023, that's what's currently going on. So each district in Uganda is planning for 2022-2023. So it starts with the budget conference. So after the budget conference, there are issues during the discussion, the issues that are supposed to be added, and there are issues that are supposed to be subtracted.
For our district specifically, what were the nitty-gritties? What was the major issue that took place during the budget conference?
Yeah, thank you very much. Quick one. One, the issue of the district headquarters. The people of our district are saying they're tired of staying in the city, so they need to go back.
To the district, to their own district?
To their own district headquarters, their own land, so that the services are brought closer to the people.
If you may remember, the issue of the district for Arua district is still a very contentious issue. You remember the previous council never sat to decide on the district headquarters for Arua district. But the executive sat. They decided that since Vora constituency has a headquarter, which was in Odumi, that should be where the headquarter should be. But you must also be aware that Odumi is just a few kilometers, if not one, from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And a section of the public that never sat in the executive thinks the headquarters for Arua district should be in Arivo, which geographically is more centrally located compared to Odumi in Vora sub-county. But now the problem comes in about the size of the land.
Okay.
Odumi has around 49 acres of land available, though some parts have been encroached, but the documents are clear with the district. But coming to Arivu, you realize that according to the LC5, he says Arivu sub-county only has around 5 acres of land free for the district headquarters to operate in, including the land that is presently housing the sub-county headquarters of Arivu sub-county. Now, this is where the problem is. The locals in Arivu are saying there's enough land, we are ready to offer land. But the leadership is saying there's no land. The only land available is in Hodumi. So there's a lot of back and forth play. When I try to talk to the LC5 of Arua district, he says the current decision to make on the headquarters is now not theirs. It lies with the Ministry of Local Government. Now the big question comes in. Should the Ministry of Local Government, based in Kampala, be able to decide for the current breed of councillors that the Arua district has? What reputation will it bring on the councillors of Arua district? Are the councillors that are worth making decision on behalf of the people of Arua district? Or these are just the councillors who have come into the council just for the sake? If you remember, when we had the International Youth Day celebration, there were councillors that came from Arua district, sorry to say, who could not express themselves in the Queen's language. So I said, oh, these are councillors from Arua district. What kind of reputation are they going to bring on Arua district? It leaves a lot to be desired. So now, do we have councillors that can debate on behalf of the people that they lead? Well,
yeah, thank you very much. Now, when you look at the current councillors that we have in Arua district, majority are new members on board. I only know of some few. I know of the current Secretary of Works and Transport, that is Louis Chandini.
Louis Chandini, yes.
I know of Cosmas Aikowa, who is the Vice Chairperson, LC5. And I know of the Chairperson that is National Resource, one of the ladies right there. And the rest seems to be new faces into the council, including the LC5 chairperson. You know, he has been from the civil society world. He has got into politics and currently now is heading Arua district that has been in existence for many years. So I think what is currently going on is that it seems that some section of the councillors are being controlled by those who were in the council before and they lost election. And also some of the councillors are being controlled by those technical people of the district who have selfish interest to get something out of the district headquarters. So there are people who are funding these two groups of people. So currently you need to know that there are 2 petitions before the Minister of Local Government. And
as far as the headquarters is concerned, even the councillors themselves, it is very hard for them to determine where should the district headquarters be, because they are even divided into 2 antagonistic parties. And so could it be on this basis that the chairman thinks the district cannot decide, but council should be able, the ministry should be able to decide for them? I think the district chairman is right, because it is very hard at this particular time, and himself, he cannot dictate. He cannot dictate that let us go to Odumi or let us go to Asia. When the LC5 chairperson dictates upon the council, then it is going to be an autocratic decision in which it is going to be worse for him. It is going to downplay his political ambition that he has just started. So I think he is also doing good to play that cool game by saying, let's wait for the Minister of Local Government to come. Recently, the Minister of Agriculture came to Arua and he asked the LC5 chairperson, where is the district headquarters? The hand of the LC5 chairperson hangs in air. It was in balance. It was in balance, and it was very hard for him to say, this is where our district headquarters is. So that is the dilemma that the district is currently having. You need to know that when it comes to budget conference, there's something that is supposed to guide the budgeting of a district. That is the indicative planning figure, the IPF. So for Arua district, the Minister of Finance has given them that is a 34 billion that they should really plan within that. You understand? So Arua district is planning on 34 billion. Where should this money go?
That's what's currently happening. And by 12th November is going to be the deadline of the submission of the budget framework for our district to be included in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development of the Republic of Uganda. Another thing that came out was the issue to do with the 2 billion that Arua district is supposed to pay the service provider who supplied.
This is Equator Seed.
Yeah, Equator Seed.
Yeah.
So the supplier, Equator Seed, supplied the beneficiaries of NOSAP 3 in 2018. And what happened was the NOSAP 3 desk officer of Arua district, that is none other than Paul or Dobu, who is on the run right now, and so, some people tend to say that he might be in Democratic Republic of Congo. That's according to what people are saying. And the supplier had to drag the district to court because Paul was an employee of the district.
Yeah.
And the chief administrative officer has a signature. The chairman, district service commission, signed his appointment letter. So the Equator Seed, being the supplier of the beneficiaries of the NOSAP 3, said he was working for the district. He had 500 million that the supplier was supposed to get. So that simply means that the district is the one that has eaten the money. So what happened was that Arua district was suspended from benefiting from NOSAP 3 until they had to sit down, discuss a number of issues. Then it was reinstated back. I can remember the Minister of Local Government, the Minister of Northern Uganda, Honorable Grace Freedom Kuyushin, had a meeting together with the LC5 chairperson and chief administrative officer by then, Oshengel Ismail, and there are issues that were discussed. And the chief administrative officer said that the district is at the verge of paying back the money that was swindled by the employee. But the minister says, no, that cannot happen. Where are you going to get the money from? And how will service delivery be? Which departments are you going to pick money from, and on what ground? I can remember the district leadership of Arua proposed to pick 5 million from, that is the production department. They proposed to pick around 5 million from 50 million, I mean. 50 million from production, 50 million from finance, and then 50 million from health department, and also around 10 million from the Department of Education. So these are some of the issues that came up. But later on, they were told they have to get that particular money. But it was now too late because the supplier had already gone to court so that he can be paid. So right now, the district leadership of Arua district, under new leadership, under new councillors, they are now asking themselves, how are we going to pay this money?
That we are not aware about.
We are not aware about. We are not the one who ate the money. And the money was eaten during the leadership of Honorable Sam Nyakwa and Oshengel Ismail being the chief administrative officer by then. Personally, from the look of things, I was able to move with the team from, that is the IGG, being led by Lim, and we moved a lot, and we were able to inspect some of the projects that were implemented under the NOSAP 3 in Arua district. So we found out that some of the projects are not working well. So the problem that came out during the discussion with the district leadership was that the Office of the Prime Minister was paying money direct to the beneficiary. You understand? And the person who was the NOSAP desk officer was also recruited by the Office of the Prime Minister to be the NOSAF desk officer. So the district was not the one in charge of, sending the money to the beneficiaries. The money was sent direct to the beneficiaries. But now the NOSAF desk officer took the advantage of the beneficiaries not knowing how things are done. He went to them and collected money from them. That please, the supplier needs his money. You collect the money to me, and I'm going to take it to the what? To the supplier. So as soon as he collected enough money, he had to, run away with the 500 million. That is the money that is in contestation.
All right, our time is up. I remember, as a journalist on radio, this same story made me smell the sides a little bit. This was a very hot story, and we made our submissions about the same story. Edward Paul, the district leadership, and how they actually had wanted to pay this money themselves when the thief was and still is on the run. And this made us to ask the question that what is the guarantee that the district leadership is not involved in this saga of picking money from these beneficiaries because they want to pay it using taxpayers' money, and yet the person who has stolen the money is nowhere to be seen?
Let me tell you something. There's something that people tend not to understand. You need to know from today onwards that in case of corruption in a district, the person responsible is the LC5 chairperson, because he is the supervisor of all the technical people.
True.
And you need to know in Uganda, the LC5 chairperson has to work hand in hand with the chief administrative officer for money to leave the district.
True.
In a situation where you see the LC5 chairperson is complaining a lot about the chief administrative officer, you need to know that one person is working alone and the other one is not eating. So where things are moving on well, you need to know
they are all quiet.
They are all quiet and they are all eating. That is the syndicate of corruption in our country, Uganda. When people are quiet, you need to know that things are
being eaten, and
yes,
the taxpayers' money is being eaten. And so basically we're not raising an alarm, but we want to make sure that you are very vigilant as far as the taxpayers' money is concerned. We are signing off, but before we do that, just one word from you.
All right, thank you very much. Mine is about fighting corruption. I don't regret if somebody tells me that, please, can you go to the cooler, because I stand to what I say. Corruption is there, and it is eating us.
Yeah.
And it's me and you to join hands together and fight this corruption. How do we fight corruption? Let us get all the policies and also the laws that we have in this particular country, Uganda, at our fingertips, and we know who is supposed to do what at what time. Let us be monitoring the government projects that are being implemented. Let us monitor these projects closely without blinking our eyes. And also I need to say this to the local government and also to the central government, that let us stop making things in English. Let us try to go local, because Uganda is a heterogeneous nation, that we can really translate some of the books that we have in this country. In the local language. So that with the COVID-19, the schools have been stopped. I don't think some people are going to go back to school. They can really read and understand in their local language.
That's it. We've come to the end of our discussion, and a number of issues that we tackled this very day today. And I must say, it's been a pleasure to have you, my colleague Gorengi Dennis, on the show.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Dear viewer, this is it. Kokoliriko live on West Nile TV. Go to Booth Collection, room C311 at Concord Building and get dressed. It is the in place for you to enjoy and look good.
West Nile TV. Meyuder ingomwa. West Nile TV. Meyuder ingomwa.